Hello again, everyone. This is Sam I Am from Iraq Currency Watch. Hope you're doing well today. I just wanted to do a quick review of why it is that Marcus and I refer to the Dinar investment as a scam. You often hear investors say, how can it be a scam if the banks are selling it? Well, first of all, the banks aren't selling it anymore, but it is true that they were selling it for a while, but they sell currencies from every country, just about, to people who are traveling abroad. It's a service that banks have provided for many years, and they were providing that service to people who wanted Iraqi dinar until they realized people weren't buying it because they were going to travel. Where else are you going to spend it? They just assumed that people were buying it because they were going to be traveling to Iraq, but instead they found out people were buying the dinar for investment purposes. And so they discontinued that service to their customers because they didn't want to encourage speculation in something that is regarded as a scam. Besides that, it was there wasn't enough money in it to put up with the hassle of providing dinar to millions of people, apparently, who were requesting it. So, anyway, but you see, it's not the actual selling of the currency that's the scam. Otherwise, the banks would have been just as guilty as some of these dealers. But it's the lies and the misrepresentation and the promotion of it as an investment opportunity that makes it a scam. Think of it this way. If somebody sells you beans so that you can take them home and cook them and eat them, that's not a scam. But if they jack the price way up and sell you those beans, telling you that they're going to provide a magic beanstalk that reaches up to the sky, okay, now that's a scam. You understand? It's not the beans themselves that are the scam. It's the lies and the misrepresentation and the false expectation. Okay? And it's not the dinar itself that's the scam. It's the lies, the misrepresentation, and the false hope that is given as a way of luring people into the investment. That's what makes it a scam. Okay? So anyway, let's go ahead and get started with this review. I'm going to provide all the links for these articles here. But I've been collecting this information now for 5 years. So I have a vast storehouse of articles and documents referring to the dinar as a scam. Let's start off with Jay Atkinson from Forbes magazine. Now, Jay Atkinson is a tax attorney, and he had a lot of people coming to him wanting him to help them handle their taxes on their newfound wealth. And he said, what newfound wealth? And they said, well, I own Iraqi dinar, and it's about to revalue, and I'm going to get a windfall of millions of dollars, and I need a tax professional to help me reduce my tax liability. And he heard so many of these people with this story, he started looking into it, and he wrote this article. It's called You Can't Fix Stupid. This is what he says. That phrase, as elegant in its simplicity as it is frankly true, applies with special fervor to those who continue to believe that they are about to make millions, billions, or even trillions by investing in Iraqi dinars. Yet this scam continues to persist, and hardly a week goes by that some sucker or another doesn't call my office to inquire about asset protection, planning for the untold riches that he or she is about to receive when the dinar finally revalues by 100 times or more. Now, he wrote this back in 2012, 2013. 3 or 4 years ago he wrote this, and for the longest time he was doing comments because people were arguing with him, telling him he didn't know what he was talking about. And finally he just got bored. He hasn't commented for a while, but he was updating it every month or so for a while, just telling people it hasn't RV'd yet, by the way. Now, let's. The next one is the Washington State Department of Financial Institutions. Here's what they said. The Washington State Department of Financial Institution is warning customers about potential scams regarding Iraqi dinar currency exchange services. While foreign exchange scams are not new, the sudden popularity with the dinar and resulting consumer complaints to our banking partners is concerning. The Better Business Bureau said this: the BBB is warning consumers across the country to be wary when considering any foreign currency investment, particularly the Iraqi dinar. Over the years, BBB complaints nationwide about dinar investments allege a number of scams surrounding the profit potential of dinar currency investments. For this reason, BBB advises consumers looking to buy dinar to familiarize themselves with the most popular scams involving Iraqi dinar and recommends making an informed decision. Now, you notice that they're talking about currency scams in general. See, it's not just the Iraqi dinar. Currency scams have been around a long time because most people don't understand how currency valuations work. And they think that currencies can just take off like a stock, like Microsoft stock, and make people millions of dollars. No, currencies don't do that. Okay? They've never done that. The only place that you'll find an example of that possibly would be Kuwait on the black market when they were occupied. But that was a very rare situation. You had to have cash on hand, and you had to be over there, and you had to find the right situation. You had to be willing to risk thousands of dollars in cash on the currency of an occupied country that may be completely worthless. But other than that, I don't know of any situation where any currency, I mean, certainly the official value is never taken off like that, like Microsoft stock. So people don't know this, though. They need to be educated about the fact that currencies don't work like stocks. Okay, let's go on. The Wisconsin Department of Financial Institutions says, in the past few weeks, our office has received several calls from Wisconsin residents inquiring about companies offering investment opportunities in the Iraqi dinar, said Patricia Struck, administrator of DFI's Division of Securities. We encourage investors to exercise extreme caution when considering their investment opportunities. They should do their homework. Okay, she didn't come right out and call it a scam, but she said do your homework and use extreme caution about investment opportunities with the Iraqi dinar. Dave Ramsey, very well-known Christian financial advisor, said of the dinar, it's the dumbest idea I've heard in I don't know when. It's borderline on a scam. Can't get much clearer than that. Salt Lake Tribune. They said the state's top 10 list also includes a new scam that has surfaced and roped in a number of military families, Woodell said. The pitch from Utah-based entities involves investing in Iraqi currency, the dinar, with potential buyers told they can earn as much as a 1,000% return when the currency appreciates in value, sometimes because they claim a UN or World Bank program will revalue it. It's frequently targeted to military families, said Waddell. Particularly men and women who have served in Iraq have been victims of this scam. Now, she said 1,000% return. Actually, there are a lot of gurus saying it's going to revalue to 386. That would be a 386,000% return. But even a 1,000% return is absurd. 100% return is absurd. All right, could you make a profit? Yeah, it's possible. You might make about a 5% return on it. But the risk far outweighs any potential gains on this. Okay, the Oklahoma Bankers Association says you need to know every investment carries some risk, and Elaine Dodd, head of the fraud department with the Oklahoma Bankers Association, definitely warns people strongly against buying the dinar with high expectations. In fact, she says, you wouldn't even expect to break even and could lose the money you invest. Dodd says investment bankers she's talked to say the same thing. She also says, Most of the investors feel stupid when they cannot sell them back and are not talking or blogging about it. Wells Fargo says, considering the illiquidity and fraud risk, considering that expectations for a large dinar revaluation have been disappointed continually since 2004, and considering that Iraq remains a dangerous place with an uncertain future, we strongly advise investors against taking the risk of buying Iraqi dinar as an investment. Now, there's a lot of these gurus who like to tell you that Wells Fargo is going to be handling the cash-in after the RV. Wells Fargo put this statement out there where they said very clearly, very distinctly, we strongly advise investors against taking the risk of buying Iraqi dinar as an investment. Okay, so what does that tell you? Bank of America says Bank of America North America does not buy or sell Iraqi dinar banknotes and currently has no plans to offer this service in the future. You may have read on the internet or heard from friends that Bank of America North America buys and sells Iraqi dinar banknotes or has plans to offer this service. This information is not correct. We urge you to seek the advice of a competent professional investment advisor before making any investment. You should treat with extreme caution any investment schemes you read about on the internet, in chat rooms, or hear about from friends or acquaintances. The Department of Justice says this. In the indictment for the BH Group, Brad Huebner, Charlie Emenecker, Rudolph Conan, and Michael Teat repeatedly advanced claims to potential investors over the telephone, through web pages, and through a weekly internet conference call that even relatively small investors in the dinar would, following the revaluation, or RV, become wealthy overnight. This is what they said. A redenomination of the Iraqi currency would not lead to a revaluation by the same amount, and may have no effect on the currency's value. Under a redenomination, a new currency replaces an old currency, but the value of the currency remains the same. On June 21, 2011, the Central Bank of Iraq, or the CBI, announced that it would be implementing a redenomination of the Iraqi dinar. Under the proposed redenomination, the Iraqi government would issue a new dinar note that will be equivalent to 1,000 current dinars. The exchange rate would be 1.17 new dinars to the dollar, equivalent to 1170 current dinars to the dollar. Now, the exchange rate has since changed. It's 1182 to the dollar now. But when this was issued, that was the exchange rate, 1170 to the dollar. So what they're saying basically is what Marcus and I and many others have been saying all along. This is a LOP. They're going to remove 3 zeros from the exchange rate, phase out the old currency. Of course, the exchange rate of the old currency doesn't change, but the new currency that's issued has the new exchange rate. The old currency is removed from circulation and demonetized, is replaced by the new currency. There is no net change in purchasing power. And people have misrepresented this process in order to sell dinar. Deleting the 3 zeros does not mean a revaluation. It means LOP, redenomination. They're going to replace the currency with a currency that has a higher value and a lower money supply, but there's no net change. And finally, back in July, the owner of Dinar Corp, Hussam Usama Taye, pleaded guilty to operating business that unlawfully sold Iraqi dinar over the internet to customers in the United States. Now, this is what the article said when he pleaded guilty. Taye used advanced technology to commit classic fraud. He duped people into spending their hard-earned money on his worthless wares, United States Attorney George L. Beck Jr. said. Taye caused harm all over the country. I am proud to say that we in Alabama put a stop to this far-reaching scheme. Okay, so that's just a little sampling of what people in law enforcement, in the banking industry, in the Better Business Bureau, and in the government agencies have said about the Iraqi dinar so-called investment. So when people say, "Why are you calling it a scam? How do you know it's a scam?" Look, folks, this is not me saying this. This is all of these institutions, all of these professional people who are very experienced in dealing with scams. This is what they say. So if you want to argue with somebody, argue with them. I'm just reporting to you all of these different articles, all of these different documents that have been published over the past 5 years. All right, well, that's all that I had for today. I'm going to go ahead and include the links in the description here. And if you have any questions, let us know at Iraq Currency Watch. Until next time, have a good day.